For more about the killing of the CIA officers and American intelligence gathering efforts in Afghanistan, we're joined once again by Jeff Stein. He's a former Army intelligence officer. He's also the author of the blog Spy Talk and author of a book about a double agent in the Vietnam War, A Murder in Wartime. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
You've now had a week to report on the killing of the CIA officers. How much do you think it set back American intelligence gathering efforts in Afghanistan?
Well, it sounds like it's devastating. It depends on, of course, how many operations they had going. There were 7 or 8 intelligence officers there. If they had 7 or 8 operations going or more, obviously it's just brutal. It wipes out intelligence gathering in that region. It wipes out what looked like a promising attempt to penetrate al-Qaeda. It turned out to be a double agent operation, of course, but it's blown.
Well, what are the lessons to be learned from the suicide bombing?
Well, first of all, you don't bring an agent into your safe house and greet him with 7 or 8 of your intelligence officers. That's a basic, fundamental, and astounding violation of CIA tradecraft or intelligence tradecraft, just for starters. So that's the first lesson. The second is the agent has to be more thoroughly vetted. And security has to be tightened. These are the most obvious lessons to learn.
And what do you think is contributing to the broader intelligence failures that Major General Flynn has identified in his report?
Well, we have a shortage of intelligence operations to start with. I know from previous reporting that field commanders don't appreciate HUMINT, as it's called, human intelligence or spying. For many years, we've had an over-reliance on satellites and electronic intercepts, cell phone intercepts, and so on. Spying is messy. It takes time. It takes skill. It's often unreliable. You have to try and try again. And so field commanders don't appreciate intelligence to start with. But what he is saying, what the general is saying, is that the intelligence analysts aren't well enough equipped to understand Afghanistan. The intelligence analysts are back at headquarters. They're not getting out into the field enough. And he is saying that the ground troops, the ordinary infantrymen and Marines who are out there, often give him more valuable intelligence than do the intelligence agencies themselves. So this is a big fix he's asking for. He's asking for a revamping of the entire intelligence system and a reallocation of resources.
Well, these are things that have been identified before. Why are we still talking about them?
Well, they've been identified for 40 years. If you go back to Vietnam, I spent a year in language school before I went there. I lived on the economy for a year. I spoke the language, and I'd say that I understood the country about a year before I left, and I was unusually qualified. The situation is even worse during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Arabic's a very difficult language to learn. You don't understand a culture until you learn at least some of the language. We've been talking about this for years now. CIA has made some strides in hiring people, but we've got a long way to go, and we're now coming up on 10 years after 9/11, and it's really inexcusable at this point.
All right, Jeff Stein, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.